The history of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening was the hero of Time's first appearance on the Game Boy. Because Link's Awakening was on a Game Boy, it was a shift back to 8 bits, but the game never felt compromised. Link's Awakening was able to capture not only the feeling of its 16-bit predecessor, but much of the look as well, a feat that remains impressive to this day. With a huge world map and new items, it's a worthy sequel to A Link to the Past, and is still thought of today as one of the best Zelda games of all time. But, whatever you do, don't steal from the shopkeeper. Takasha Tezuka joined The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo halfway through development. Once the game was done, he still had many unused ideas left over. Tezuka also wanted to bring Link to the Game Boy. He put together a team to develop a new, just for fun, Zelda game for a handheld device to put those unused ideas to good use. The team only worked on the game after work hours, and because it was a just for fun project, while playing it, you might come across other familiar Nintendo characters in the game. Tezuka's original idea for the handheld Zelda was actually a remake of A Link to the Past, but later got his own original story. Tezuka got inspired for the game's plot from the American television show Twin Peaks, which, like Link's Awakening, featured characters in a small town. He suggested that the characters of Link's Awakening be written as suspicious types, akin to those in Twin Peaks, a theme that carried over into later Zelda titles. Odd, suspicious characters are not the only thing from Link's Awakening that became a mainstay into the Zelda series. Several elements from Link's Awakening were reused in later Zelda titles. For example, programmer Kazaki Moriarty created the first fishing minigame for the Zelda series that reappeared in Ocarina of Time. Among others, Kensuke Tanaba implemented a trading sequence, a concept that also appeared in most sequels. The majority of the team that had created the Super Nintendo Zelda: A Link to the Past was also part of the after-school club team developing Link's Awakening. Altogether, it took them 1.5 years to develop Link's Awakening, and the game was released in June of 1993 in Japan and later that year in August in North America. Of course, Zelda creator Shigeru Miyamoto was on the project as a producer, but did not provide creative input to the staff members. However, he did participate as a game tester, and his opinions greatly influenced the later half of the development. Kensuke Tanaba came up with the basis of the story. Tezuka sought to make Link's Awakening a spin-off, and gave Tanaba instructions to omit common series elements, such as Princess Zelda, the Triforce relics, and the setting Hyrule. As a consequence, Tanaba proposed his game world idea of an island with an egg on top of a mountain. Later on, Yoshikai Kazumai, who had previously helped with the plot of A Link to the Past, was brought onto the team. Kazumai was responsible for the main story of Link's Awakening, and provided the idea of the island in Dream. Link's Awakening was described by senior producer Yajime Onuma as the first Zelda game with a proper plot, which he attributed to Kazuma's romanticism. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening story falls after the event of 2001's Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons in the official Zelda timeline. The hero Link travels abroad to train for further threat. A storm destroys his boat at sea, and he washes ashore Kotalima Island, where he is taken to the house of Tarion and his daughter Mary. She is fascinated by Link and the outside world and tells Link wistfully that if she were a seagull, she would leave and travel across the sea. After Link recovers his sword, a mysterious owl tells him that he must wake the wind fish, Kotalima's guardian, in order to return home. The wind fish lies dreaming in a giant egg on top of Mount Teramashi, and can only be wakened by the 8 elements of the sirens. During his search for the 6th instrument, Link discovers that the island is merely a dream world created by the windfish. After collecting all 8 instruments from the 8 dungeons across Kolimita, Link climbs the top of Mount Tamaranch and plays a ballad of the windfish. This breaks open the egg in which the windfish sleeps. Link enters and confronts the last evil being, a nightmare that takes the form of Ganon and other enemies from the Link's past. Its final transformation is Delph, a Cyclopsian dual-tentacled shadow. After he defeats Delph, the Windfish explains that Kolina is all Link's dream. When Link plays the Ballad of the Windfish again, he and the Windfish awaken. Kolina Island, with all of its inhabitants, slowly disappear. Link finds himself lying adrift in the middle of the ocean, with the Windfish flying overhead. If the player did not lose any lives during the game, Marlene is shown flying after the end credits finish. Like most games in the Legend of Zelda series, Link's Awakening is an action-adventure game focused on exploration and combat. Link's Awakening was the first overhead perspective Zelda game to allow Link to jump, and even has short side-scrolling sequences, a nod to Zelda 2, Adventures of Link. It is also the first game in the Zelda series in which A and B buttons may be assigned to different items, which enables more varied puzzles and item combinations. In 1998, Nintendo re-released Link's Awakening DX, a colorized version with an added dungeon for the newly launched Game Boy Color. Even 5 years later, it managed to become one of the best-selling games on the platform. Between the two releases, it managed to sell 6 million copies, besting even the mighty Super Nintendo Entertainment System adventure. Link's Awakening was well received by critics and is thought to this day to be one of the best Game Boy games of all time. Who would have thought that this side project Zelda game would become one of the most important and influential games in the Zelda series by changing the way we play Zelda games today? Hey guys, it's Justin from the Nintendo Dads podcast. Thanks very much for watching the history of the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I need to give a couple shoutouts right now. This video would not take place if it was not for the support of Cass Lush. He is a fan of the community. He's a supporter of Nintendo Dads. You need to check out the amazing work that he does at Gaming Docs on YouTube. Go check it out. He does amazing video game videos just like this. But as much as we love Cass and his support as well, we need to thank you, our Patreon supporters. And there's a bunch of you. So I want to take this opportunity to personally thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Jim, thank you. Eric, man, thank you very much. Brian, thank you. Malik, my man, my amiibo hunting man, Malik, thank you very much for your support. Eli, our good friend down under, thank you, buddy, for your support. Holden Moffat, man, I love Holden Moffat. Thank you for your support. Colin Harris, the amazing artist that is Colin Harris, thank you for your support. And Toys for Games, the podcast supports us as well. Thank you guys for being amazing contributors as well. So guys, to summarize, thanks very much for watching this video, for contributing to our Patreon, and helping us create amazing content like this. We hope that you guys have enjoyed it. So on behalf of myself, Zach, and Jesse, stay fresh.
Going funky.